Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. Tonight, I want to talk about how you should go about dating. A lot of people go about dating the wrong way. A lot of people start to date somebody and they have a mindset of, I want to find somebody. I want a long-term relationship with somebody. And there's nothing wrong with wanting a long-term relationship with somebody, but it's going to come in time. You can't get immediate gratification, you guys. Anything worth something is going to take some time to recognize if this person is a potential partner, okay? So the thing that you got to know is this. When you first go in and you're starting to date, your attitude should be you're dating this person, you're checking them out, you're trying to see what they're all about, and you're going to take your time. You're going to see, like I've said in prior podcasts, you're going to find out as much information as you can about them, okay? But the big thing, and one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make, and a lot of women make this mistake, is when they start dating someone, they stop dating other people, okay? Big mistake, you guys. Big mistake. You start dating somebody, you think it's going towards something, and then after a couple months, this person is not telling you that they want a commitment, or they're giving you some excuse saying, let's see where it goes, or right now I'm going with the flow, and you've invested all these months getting to know this person, with this person not really, saying anything or moving towards something serious. That's one way they do it, is they don't say anything, and you're like left in the dark after dating them a couple months, and you feel like, are we moving towards a commitment or are we not? And during those few months, you probably cut off talking to other people. So now what's happening? Now you're putting all your eggs in this one basket, right? Because you thought like this person was going to be something. You had your hopes that this person was going to be something. But if that person, after a couple of months, is not saying anything or not moving towards something and making it known that you two are exclusive. And when I say it, it's more than just saying it, because you got those other players that are going to say to you, yeah, we are in a relationship, and not really be in a relationship. That's why I tell you, even if they say that you are exclusive with them, you better make sure that they make it public on their social media, because a lot of players won't do that because they have other people on their social media and they wouldn't want them to know that. So you got to be careful of that one, okay? But the point is this. You're dating somebody, it's progressing, you're going out with them now a couple months, and now they're not saying anything to you about what's going to be. Or they give you an excuse saying, I need to take my time. I just got out of a relationship and I don't really know. I don't know. Okay. And you're sitting there hoping that it's going to progress towards something. You're sitting there and you're not dating other people. You're giving this one person all your time and all your energy. Big mistake. And I'm going to tell you something else, you guys. All right? I would almost bet that person is talking to other people. Because if they're not progressing and telling you something to the effect of, we're definitely in a relationship and I'm making it public on my social media and I'll post a picture of the two of us and everything like that. If they're not able to do those kind of things, most definitely they're probably talking to somebody else, okay? This is why I tell you, keep your doors open. Keep your doors open. You should be unattainable till somebody locks you down. When you make yourself so accessible and you give that one person all of your time, okay, a lot of times it could backfire on you. And this happens to a lot of people. And, a lot of people invest a lot of time into one person. See, now, I'm not telling you to be a player. I mean, you could be a player if you want to be a player. But I'll tell you one thing. A player would never, ever Stop talking to other people. Some of these people that you're dating that are not giving you commitments, okay, is because they're talking to other people. Believe me when I tell you, okay? Believe me, you may not know it, but believe me when I tell you, okay? Most definitely, in most cases, they are talking to other people. That's why they're not locking it down with you, okay? And, they want to keep their doors open. This is why they don't commit, you guys, because they got somebody else on the side that they're talking to, or, you're just not what they want. They may like you, but they may not feel like, they want to give up their freedom for you. You're not worth giving up their freedom. Okay? Point blank. Sorry to tell you, but it's better that you know than waste your time. This is why I tell you guys, you got to keep your doors open. You got to date a bunch of people. All right? You're single. Until somebody puts a label on it, you're single. Okay? You're single. And don't let these people fool you too, because a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll sit there and they'll say, I'm focusing in just on you. This is what a lot of the players do, you guys. It's all game. They sit there and they tell you, I'm just focusing in on you. That doesn't mean anything. Big deal. Okay. Oh, you're focusing in on me. That's great. Okay. That doesn't mean anything. Let me know in 6 months or 3 months if you're going to make a commitment. Okay. That's a whole nother ball game. All right. And the other thing is, you shouldn't be so desperate to be like, great. Oh, yeah, me too. Okay? Now, there's 2 ways you could play a situation like that. You could tell them the same thing and see people on the side, or you could tell them, well, I like to get to know somebody, so, you could do what you want, all right? But, I like to take my time and get to know somebody and, date other people or whatever. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. You don't have to tell them anything in the beginning. It's none of their business. They haven't earned enough time with you that you have to sit there and divulge to them your every move. Because most of the time, they're not telling you. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is this, you guys. These people are all very nice in the beginning. What do I always say? I say this a million times. I'm going to play a recording on this. They're always nice in the beginning, okay? The devil doesn't come as the devil, all right? The devil comes as your friend. In other words, what I'm trying to say, not that they're the devil, but what I'm saying is these people that come into your life, that date you, that don't want anything serious with you, are going to put on the act. They are going to try to manipulate you. They will keep you around as long as you let them keep you around, okay? Now it's up to you to keep your doors open. And see, the problem is you date this person for a few months, and then this person is not looking to lock it down with you and be exclusive with you, right? And then you find like you're hurt about it. But guess what? That other person isn't hurt about it. Why isn't that other person hurt about it? Why wouldn't that other person want to lock you down? Because they got other things going on. They have other things going on. So they're not worried about it. They're not alone. Believe me when I tell you, okay? All right? They're not just focusing in on you. They have other things going on. So they feel that if you walk away, it's okay because I got my backups. That's what's really going on. And that's what they don't tell you. And that's all part of the game, you guys. I don't care if it's male or female, because I got female friends that are players that do that too, okay? One of my girlfriends, she's a big time player. She dates a bunch of guys and everything like that. And she does the same thing. She's always got 2 guys on the side that she goes out with. She has one guy that she sleeps with. She has another guy that she goes out to dinner with. And, the bottom line is she just does the circuit. This is how a lot of women, that play game do it too. I'm going to talk about the women too, because there's a lot of women that play games too, you guys. There's women that have guys that they have sex with. There's, and then they have guys that they're trying to have a relationship with, that they don't sleep with these guys. And then they have guys that they use to take them out to dinner. There's women out there that do these things to the guys as well. Okay, so you got it all around. Not just the men playing game. You got the women playing game as well, you guys. But the most important thing, the reason that I wanted to do this, okay, is because you tie up your life to this one person that you start dating, and then it goes nowhere. And then you're sitting there and you're writing into relationship columns, you're writing into dating columns, and you're all asking the same question, he doesn't want a commitment, or he doesn't want to be exclusive, and everything like that. Well, there's a lot of things too you got to think about. Did he tell you from the beginning that he didn't want a relationship and you just ignored it and you thought you could change somebody? Ding, ding, big mistake, you guys. Red flag. If somebody tells you something in the beginning, believe them. Believe them, okay? You're not going to change somebody. It's when they want to change, all right? Or if they feel that you are the person that they really, really want, okay? If they're not 100% in on you, they may keep you around because they like you, they enjoy you, they're getting some benefit from you, okay? But they don't want to get locked down to you. So you have a choice. You could still see that person if you want to, okay? Whatever you want to do, you want to use them back for whatever benefit you're getting back from them. Or you could say to yourself, you know what? If this person is not valuing me, they don't think highly enough of me, I shouldn't even bother with this person. I should be talking to these other people that are giving me a chance to get to know them, okay? That's why you always have other people that you're talking to, because you aren't official. You're not official. If you're not official and you're dating somebody, right? Your doors are open, and you better keep your doors open. And if it doesn't work out with that primary person that you really like, let's say that person just doesn't want a relationship. You're dating other people, so guess what? You have other options that you could go out with other people and see what happens with them, or date somebody totally different. All right? Then you know that maybe you shouldn't give that person any more of your time, but it doesn't hit you as hard because you have your backups. You have other options. And you're not doing anything wrong because you don't have any kind of tie to that person. There is no formal label on it. So you don't owe that person anything. But see, this is what a lot of women do. They start dating somebody. The guy starts showing them a lot of attention, like, it's moving and it's progressing towards something. And a lot of times they're dealing with players and they're thinking it's progressing. And these guys, they know exactly what to say. Oh, I could see us married one day. And, I want you to meet my mother. And I'd love to take a vacation. They'll say anything, you guys, anything under the sun, all right? Just like you guys listen to coaches, they listen to coaches on how to, get what they want, all right? And it goes, women to men, partner to partner. There's people out there doing all these kind of games out there. But the main point of this podcast is this. You need to keep your options open. You need to keep your options open when you're dating, okay? And you date people, you don't sit there and just limit yourself and say, this person's okay, but, I'm not really you give somebody a chance. You give somebody a chance. It's not about the physical. It's not all about the physical. It's about whether somebody has a good heart, okay? Somebody could be great looking and be the most meanest, miserable person and make your life terrible, all right? There's a lot of women that have married good-looking men that treat them like crap. So I ask you, what good is that? What good is that when you're dealing with somebody who's cold, narcissistic, full of themselves, okay? And it could go the same way when a guy gets involved with a very good-looking woman and, she's the same way, very narcissistic towards the guy and treats him the same way and tells him everything he does is wrong and makes him you guys got to look beyond, just the physical. I'm not saying you shouldn't be attracted. Of course, you need to have an attraction to somebody, but you got to look at somebody's heart. Do they have a good heart? Are they kind to you? Are they understanding to you? Are they willing to bend with you? Okay? So you date other people that, maybe on a scale from 1 to 10, their looks are maybe a 7, but they have a heart of gold, okay? That makes up for the other part, okay? And that's even more important. So you keep dating other people like that, and then you don't find yourself in a position. So if you're dating somebody and you really like that person and you get to a point and you feel like you should be exclusive and this person is not saying anything, or this person is telling you, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I don't know right now. I need to take my time and everything. And you've been dating this person like at least 4 or 5 months, and they're still telling you this kind of thing, and you've been seeing them like on a regular basis and everything, and they're still giving you that flip-flop answer. You know what? That's fine. You do what you want. Now you know not to give that person all the time you were giving them. You gave them, let's say, 4 months of regular, consistent dating, all right? You've given them, 4 or 5 months or more of consistent dating, and they still don't know. They still don't know. Well, you know what? If they don't know, they'll never know, okay? Because it's like I told you. People know when they meet somebody whether it's a hit or not. A lot of guys that have ended up with their wives, and they'll tell you. They will tell you. Like, the minute I met her, like, they knew, like, the first date. They knew the first date that it was going to be something serious. They didn't need to take all this time to figure it out, all right? But the point is, if somebody tells you something like that, okay, no problem. Hey, listen, you got to do you. You got to do you. That's okay, because I'm going to do me, all right? You don't tell them that, but in your mind, you know that you have these other options. And you're not going to sit there and you're not going to be heartbroken because you have these other options, okay? Believe me when I tell you, if you're dating somebody and it's been, a couple of months and they're not saying anything, trust me when I tell you, they are talking to other people, all right? They are talking to other people. This is not somebody that you put in the A category. Once you find out that they're not looking to move forward and progress with you, then you got to shift them over to the B category and start talking to those other people that you've been talking to, which you should be talking to, because you're not exclusive with anybody. You're still, quote unquote single. And now you go and you give those other people a chance and you see if they become like an A category, which means that there's a potential for a relationship there. You see what I mean? You know why players never get hurt when relationships end? They could be dating somebody for a while and, very few players get hurt when the woman or the man comes to them and they say, I'm leaving you. Or they're like, okay. Why are they like, okay? Because they always got somebody on the side. They know that they got their back up there. All right? This is what people do. That's what a lot of insecure people do that, okay? Because they're afraid of getting hurt. They have other people. But you're not doing anything wrong and you're not playing anybody because you're not in a relationship. So if you want to talk to other people or you want to date other people, that you have a right to do that. You don't owe that other person anything until they commit to you. Okay, this is what a lot of people don't understand. And this is where a lot of women make a mistake because they'll feel guilty talking to somebody. Let's say they're dating somebody on a regular basis. You're seeing them every week and it's going a couple months and everything like that. All right. A lot of people will feel guilty about talking to somebody else because they'll be like, well, I'm seeing this person. Yeah, you're seeing this person. Yes, you're seeing this person. You're dating this person, but you're not in a committed relationship. If this person hasn't told you, you are still single. Single, single, single. I don't care what they tell you. And a lot of guys are going to tell you, they're not dating other women or this or that. All right. It doesn't matter. You could just tell them, that whatever you want to do, that's your choice on how you want to do it. And you don't need to tell anybody what you're doing because you're not at that point of knowing that person that well that you have to sit there and tell them what you do. Okay? Till there's a label on it, you don't have to tell them what you're doing. You don't have to tell them who you're talking to. Okay? And it's the same way for the guys to the women. If a guy's dating a woman, she could be playing him too. You don't have to tell her what you're doing until there's a label on it and you guys know that you are exclusive, all right? And some people will say, well, that's not right. You need to get to know somebody. That's kind of like playing game. It's not playing game because you're technically single and you could do what you want. You're getting to know the person, all right? So That's how you work it out, you guys, when you're dating and getting to know somebody. Believe me, the guys do this all the time. That's why the women get hurt. A lot of the women get hurt because they put their eggs all in that one basket on hopes that this guy is going to be their future husband, their future man, and everything like that. And you don't see that some guys get hurt, but I'm just saying, like, if he gets involved with a woman that's a player. But what I'm saying is a lot of the guys, you don't see a lot of them getting hurt that are doing that because they are, talking to other people. This is why I tell you guys, and especially to the guys, when you're dating somebody and you really like that person and you don't want that person to be dating somebody else, you got to be clear with this person. You have to communicate. I know a lot of people, they're in a relationship, and this happens with a lot of women. They're dating someone and they don't know where they stand with that guy. And that guy is telling them, well, I don't believe in labels. I don't believe in labels. First of all, that is an excuse. Anybody that you've been dating that sits there and tells you, well, I don't believe in labels, that's just an excuse, okay? Don't buy into the bullshit because that's exactly what that is, okay? That's just to string you along. That's because what are they so afraid of putting a label on it if they have nothing to hide, okay? So, you guys, you got to be smarter than that. And if you're a guy and you're dating a woman and you really like that woman, you have to be clear about it. If she's really sincere back, then she will want to be with you solely with you, okay? But if you just kind of float around, see, a lot of guys get hurt this way. A lot of guys try to play it cool and they'll be dating somebody and, they're not specific. Women like to know what's going on, all right? A lot of women that date with a purpose, that are looking for something more than just a hookup or looking to date somebody that it'll progress into something, they want to know, is this progressing? Because a lot of people have been played. So, that's why a lot of these guys, they deal with women, and a lot of times they get mad because they'll be dating a woman and then they find out she's dating other guys. And the thing I have to say to you is, well, were you clear with her? Did you make it clear with her that you two are exclusive, that you don't want her dating other people and you're not dating other people and you guys are exclusive? Okay? If you haven't said that to that person, then you cannot get mad. You can't assume, okay? You can't just assume things. You have to make it clear. You have to communicate with that person and let them know. And then you have to see their reaction to it. You have to see if they want to be in it with you or if they don't. And if they give you an excuse and they tell you something like, well, let's wait a little bit more time. Let's wait a little bit more time. If they're waiting a little bit more time, then they're unsure. Okay? And when you're dealing with somebody who's unsure, you don't owe them anything. Okay? You don't owe them anything. They have not committed to being with you in a relationship. So therefore, you are free. You are a free operator to do what you want. Okay? And you can't get mad at that other person. I don't care if it's a woman. I don't care if it's a guy. I don't care who it is, partner to partner. Okay? If you guys have not made it clear together that you two are exclusive, then if the other person wants to talk to somebody else or anything like that, okay, you can't get mad. This is why a lot of them, they float along. They float along with you. They date you. You never know, what are we? Where's this progressing? Okay? They're not telling you, okay? Because obviously, there's something else that they may be doing. They're talking to somebody else. So they're not going to commit to you and tell you exactly and be nailed down that they're in a relationship with you because they're worried because there's somebody else in the wings that they're talking to or they're interested in. All right? Or they will be interested in the future. So you got to keep this all in mind, you guys. You got to be really clear. And, people that are transparent, you won't have a problem with this. Now, sometimes you do date somebody, all right? And it's not necessarily their fault. You date somebody and it doesn't progress into a relationship. And they never commit to you. They're not exclusive with you. In some cases, it's not necessarily that they could specifically have somebody on the side. They may be talking to somebody on the side, but it doesn't mean they're cheating or specifically have a situationship on the side. But in some instances, some people just are not ready, and sometimes they'll never be ready to be in a relationship. And that's okay. That's okay. So that's when if you're somebody who's looking for a relationship, that you don't give this person all your time, okay? You may like that person and everything like that, but unless you want to waste your time with them, you talk to other people. This is what I'm telling you guys, all right? It's kind of like, people will say it's kind of like dating like a player. The only difference between being a player and this is that players are deceptive in a lot of ways. Players try to manipulate to get what they want. This is not manipulating. You are not lying to anybody, okay? Because it's not like you made a commitment and you went outside the commitment and you did something and you cheated on that person. When you don't have a commitment, when you don't have an agreement with that person, all right, you can do what you want. Your status is single. If your status is single, you are single, okay? And I wanted to bring this up because a lot of people, they date in the hopes. They're afraid of treading water. And the thing is this, if you make yourself like you have other things going on, not necessarily that you have to have, somebody in the wings all the time, but if you make yourself, independent, that person will be more, if they really like you, they'll be more keen on locking it down than if you just sit around and wait. Well, do you think, in time, maybe, you'll want to they know you're just sitting there. They know you're sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting. So they're not in any rush. And in the meantime, it gives them time to go out and have a good time for themselves on the side. So don't be a sucker, all right, you guys? I'm trying to let you know so that, you don't waste all your time with somebody that's not looking to be serious with you. I hope that helps you. And if it did, please hit the subscribe button and share. And if you have any topics you want me to podcast on, send me an email. Links in the description, in the podcast description. Have a great night. Audible is offering listeners a 30-day trial. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free 30-day trial. You get to select any book that you want on there and listen to it. They have books on there about breadcrumbing, love bombing, why did they lose interest, dating, relationship, any kind of book you're interested in and want to learn about, okay? You could listen to it in your car or if you're on the bus or the train. So go to my podcast description for the link at tinyurl.com/Ask Yaz Now and start your free trial. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz. I want to tell you about my 2 books that are on Amazon, okay? You can download them free with the trial membership from Kindle. The first book is Regain Your Power. If you're in a relationship and you feel like your partner has all the control in the relationship, maybe you're walking around on eggshells, you're afraid to approach them, it's going to tell you how to regain your power and be happy in the relationship, okay? And what you may be doing wrong, and that's why your partner has all the control in the relationship. The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time. There's a lot of people that are dating someone or in a relationship with somebody who's not really vested in the relationship. And we often are confused as to whether our partner really likes us or is into us or wants a future with us. And this book is going to give you signs and red flags of whether your partner is into you or he's just basically drifting and wasting your time. So go to Amazon and download the Kindle free trial membership. Doesn't cost you anything. And check it out. It may help you. Okay? And have a great day.